Someone at work stole my chair, so I had them arrested. I just started a new sales job at a company that installs access control systems and CCTV for businesses. My cubicle came with a beat-up mesh chair that squeaked and left a dead spot in my lower back by lunch. I'm 34. I've had back surgery before. I wasn't sitting in that thing for 8 hours a day. So on day 3, I brought in my own chair from home. A Herman Miller Aeron, black, mesh seat. I paid $1,800 for it 2 years ago at my old job, and I wasn't leaving it behind. I rolled it in from my car that morning, set it up, and finally my back stopped screaming by 10 a.m. Day 4, I walked in and it was gone. Just gone. I stood there staring at the empty spot where it had been, coffee in my hand, thinking maybe I moved it. Then I looked 2 rows over, and there it was. Another sales rep, a guy named Roy, was sitting in it, feet up on his desk, on the phone with a client. I waited until he hung up, told him that was my chair. I'd brought it from home. He looked at me, looked at the chair like he was noticing it for the first time, and said, "It was open, man. Finders keepers." Then he put his headset back on and started dialing again. I went straight to the owner's office. Guy named Frank, mid-50s, ran the place out of a strip mall office park. I told him someone took my personal chair and wouldn't give it back. Frank leaned back in his own leather chair and told me the chairs in the building aren't assigned. First come, first served. I said, "Frank, I own this chair. It cost me $1,800. He shrugged and said, "If I wanted my chair, I needed to get in before Roy did." I walked out of there so mad my ears were ringing. I got there at 7:15 the next morning. Roy still beat me. He must have been sitting in the parking lot waiting for the doors to unlock. When I walked in, he was already in my chair, coffee cup on my desk, going through his emails like nothing happened. I told him straight up, "Give me the chair back right now or I'm calling the police." He laughed. Actual laugh, leaned back in it and said, "Go ahead, call them." So I did. I stood in the middle of the sales floor and dialed 911 while 6 other reps stared at me over their cubicle walls. 2 officers showed up about 20 minutes later. It caused a whole scene, people getting up to watch. Frank coming out of his office red in the face asking what I thought I was doing bringing cops into his business over a chair. I didn't care. I had my receipt pulled up on my phone before they even walked in, the one from the furniture store, with the serial number printed right on it. Aeron chairs have a serial number stamped under the seat pan. I showed the cop where to look. They checked it against the chair. Matched exactly. Roy tried saying he thought it was just an office chair, that he didn't know it was mine, but I'd told him myself 2 days in a row it was mine. The cop asked him straight out if he took it knowing it belonged to someone else, and refused to return it. Roy went quiet for a second, then said yeah, he knew. The officer asked me if I wanted to press charges. Before I could answer, Frank grabbed my arm and pulled me a few feet away. He said if I had this man arrested over a chair, I was done working there. Said it real quiet, real serious, like he was doing me a favor by warning me first. I looked back at Roy standing there in handcuffs by that point, and then at Frank, and I said it loud enough for the cop to hear. "Absolutely, I want to press charges." Frank's jaw tightened up. He told me to clean out my desk. I was terminated, effective immediately. So I did. I unplugged my monitor, grabbed my stapler and my jacket, and wheeled my Aeron chair right out the front door, while the cops walked Roy to the squad car in cuffs. Nobody said a word to me on the way out. I loaded the chair into my back seat, and drove home in the quiet, still shaking a little from the adrenaline. Turned out Roy had been in the security industry 15 years. Installer, then sales, worked his way up. A theft conviction like that doesn't just cost him a fine, it costs him his state security license, the one that lets him even work in that field at all. No license, no job, not at that company or any other one like it. 15 years of experience, and none of it matters if you can't legally hold the license anymore. A guy from my old team texted me a few weeks later saying, Roy's case went through, he pled guilty to avoid a worse charge, and the state pulled his license within the month. Said Frank had to hire 2 new reps just to cover what Roy used to close. I read the text sitting in my home office, in my Aeron chair, feet up, and didn't feel bad for 1 second. He had 2 days of warnings and a police officer standing in front of him asking if he wanted to give it back before it went any further. He said no every single time. That's on him, not me.